time for the reading. Can you bless them? Okay, so here's the cards that we pulled, and I pulled them in this order. So we start with the subject, which is we're in Taurus. The moon is in Taurus. That's our subject. And I don't have Taurus in my top three. My moon, sun, and rising signs are not in Earth at all, actually. But we are in Earth. We're in Taurus. And I do have Taurus in my Saturn, which is work-related. And so we're going to launch this initiative on Taurus in Saturn. And so that's what this collective reading is for. And so we start with the Three of Cups. That is us. And that is the subject of this collective reading. This is a collective reading. Again, remember that a collective reading is not for anyone in particular. You need to take what works for you and what doesn't. Do keep in mind that I believe that these are good tools for us to learn and see contrast to what we would otherwise. So sometimes the cards might make us a little uncomfortable. That doesn't mean that it's not for us. So let's be mindful about tough lessons and then also what just doesn't fit. So that is your call moving forward as we go as the Three of Cups. So we've got abundance of connection here. This is a good time for friends, people maybe reaching out from the past, connecting with trusted souls, some of them new, and really just gaining a lift from the collective. We have abundance. This isn't necessarily monetary. It's cups. So it's abundance of emotion. And that means good spirits, yours and others. So we get to start with that, which is great. And then I move along to the Eight of Wands. This is the action that's happening to us now. This is us, and then this is what's going on. So this is the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands is fire energy, and it's a bit of a higher order. This is a Sagittarius energy that we have in here, and that means things are coming in burning hot and swiftly for us. The goal here on the other side of this adventure is to become, so we are here and we are to become this on the other side of this. So the Hierophant is a higher order of spirituality and presence. And it is here that we will find ourselves when we go through this Eight of Wands experience with this abundance of flow of connection and love. So where does that take us? That takes us onto the journey to become the star. And that's going to be part of the challenge as well, is seeing yourself as the star and not somebody else. So you can't be looking at someone else for your solutions right now. You are the one who can solve everything for yourself. This might look like you not believing that you have this capacity. This may be in not realizing that you are the person who is bringing on the fate that you are currently experiencing. Either way, you are the star of the show. And accepting that is the challenge. The Chariot brings in swift communications. So we will be challenged in this space and maybe even aided by communications typically come in through the Chariot, or actions swiftly coming in to try to change the nature of a situation. We can expect that to happen. And there's the Magician. Now, this area here is really where our challenges and our opportunities lie. These are problems, but they're also aids. And this gets confusing because we have the Magician, and that's a character, that's a player. And that player may be helping, or that player may be tinkering and not helping, or maybe a combination of both. But keep in mind that there is some other third party doing magic behind the scenes here. And that is part of the energetic framework that we are experiencing here. Okay, so then where does that take us? Well, it takes us to the Seven of Cups, which is Moon and Scorpio, energy where they meet. This is where dark stuff goes. So if you have Scorpio in your chart, especially in the primary three, this may not feel like debauchery. This might feel comfortable, and maybe that's part of the experience that you keep coming to, is that this is comfortable for you. For signs where this does not resonate, where the dark doesn't feel light at all, like it doesn't illuminate, then this is a challenging space to get a hold of one's negative emotions and how they're playing out in getting what they want. And then we have the Three of Wands, which is this balance of energy and activity. So it comes out through activity and aligned energy where the values and the actions and the words, they're all lining up here. And this is a virtuous outcome. But in order to get here, you have to go here, which is some very deep emotional diving to some dark places. And again, we're in Taurus. For me, this can represent very much a professional framework, not just a personal one. So while you're taking this and applying this to your personal circumstances, don't just think about intimate relationships or loved ones. Make sure that you're applying this to a broader framework as well, especially if you know where your Taurus is. So we're not here yet. She actually comes at the end. We'll come back to her because I came over here and we're qualifying. We clarify. Okay, so after all this, what happens? Well, we come back to this is us. Okay, so then after that, we come back and it's the moon. And being the moon is being in touch with all of the emotions and being able to flow. This is being in flow and being intuitive. And this is a beautiful place to be. But it brings us to the Wheel of Fortune, which is a great spin. Because, the Wheel of Fortune, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. It's got to keep moving. And you can be anywhere on this wheel at any given point in time. And so this is a moment to take pause and say, where am I on my own personal Wheel of Fortune? Am I up? Am I down? And how can I start to either change that wheel into the space that I'd like it to be or hold it where it's at just a little bit longer? We need to understand that it is a wheel. We will always be on it. It's always going to go up and it's always going to go down. What we can do through co-creation is we can manifest realities that keep this into a little bit tighter framework where we can impact this. And if we can do that, then we start to really have control over our fate a bit, as much as anyone is able. So this is unfortunate because this is where we're going to go. We're going to get in harmony and we're going to get with the moon cycles. And in fact, this initiative itself is doing that. And then we're on the wheel. We're always on the wheel. We're going to take stock. Are we up? Are we down? Where do we want to be? And how do we get to where we want to be? This requires planning, commitment, and dedication. So this is a focus. When you're feeling, make sure that you're doing and strategizing. So this is what's going to happen when you do that. This is what you can expect. It's not the happiest of outcomes. This is the reality of life, okay? So then, but we're going to keep going, and that's the other reality of life. So after we get here and we manage our Wheel of Fortune, if you end up on a high, which is what you're aiming for, right? So if you do this well, the outcome, you can expect some people to stab you in the back. You can expect some people to not be happy for you. And that's the reality. You're going to have to mourn and grieve, but it makes you stronger. Because remember I said there's always another side. You come out. So we keep flowing. You got to stay in flow. If you resist and get stuck, you can just keep ending up. You can swirl right in here and you can keep finding yourself emotionally. You can work your Wheel of Fortune and then you can let all the energies around you disrupt your ability to find yourself, or you can work through it. Which brings us to the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups embraces her kingdom of emotion. She is sovereign. She knows that those emotions are magic. They are power. And that to let someone else wield them is to give hers up. And so this is her coming into possession. It's a battle with self. That's what often you'll find. You've come all the way. You're at the Ten of Swords. And now it's your thoughts. It's your thoughts that are keeping you captive. It's you carrying this that's keeping you captive. And if you break free, you'll find, this is what you're going to find, is that there's no demons. Because, you're going to want to blame and be like, well, they did it. And they did. But the Queen of Cups, she knows that everybody's human and they're all going through this. Right? She knows that. And so when this time comes, and all this comes, and the self-scrutiny comes in, she realizes the truth is the only way to go. You have to let them, as Mel Robbins says, let them. And they get to be them, and you get to be you. And that is the truth. The truth and the truth. And it's in acceptance. And when you get here, this is the outcome. The Princess of Swords. And this is beautiful. Because the Princess of Swords, she's mindful. She's calculated. She's not ruled by the emotions. She's informed by them. And she uses the magic of thought and her connections with nature and earth and all the energies to make forward progress in alignment with her intentions. So that is a beautiful outcome that we're looking at. It's a tough journey. So I say, I ask the oracle cards. I like to do my little sacred traveler. I mean, as long as we're going places, right? Let's keep going. And so I handled the deck. It didn't flip me out one. I did the flip over the bottom. For whatever reason, these like to hang in my hands and not pop. So I got Journey by Moonlight, which is beautiful because the sun was just starting to rise, barely, when I pulled these cards. And then the horse came and blessed them. Believe in magic. I'm like, how? How can I make all this going on in my life? How can I make all this come out in a way that makes it make sense, in a positive framework where this is the outcome I desire? And I got this. I have to believe in magic. And so here I am, sharing some of the magic with you. I hope you enjoyed this morning's reading. It is our debut, and we will be doing one with every change of the moon cycle. Namaste.